Good morning all of you. My name is Divya Thakur and today my topic is reading and reading comprehension 2. Let's say first we'll go for what is writing skill in that. Let's say what writing is a medium of communication that represents language through the inscription of sign and symbols. In most languages, writing is a complement to speech or spoken language. Writing is not a language but a form of technology. Within a language system, writing relies on many of the same structures as speech, such as vocabulary, grammar and semantics, with the added dependency of a system of signs or symbols, usually in the form of a formal alphabets. So that is, we can say, these are writing skills. We'll go for first discursive writing. What is discursive writing? That is, a discursive essay should feel as if you have weighed up the arguments and come to a conclusion at the end. So, for example, we can say we are putting in lot of arguments in a paragraph and at the end we'll come to the conclusion. There are in all 4 paragraphs in discursive writing. That is, the first one, conclusion is must in the discursive writing. That is, background and counter argument are must in discursive writing. Paragraph, and the first paragraph, what it is include that it is introduction. First paragraph should be contain be a general introduction. Don't include specific points or anything else in the paragraphs. Include a response to the title. You may need to identify the issues that lie behind the title to give historical or typical background, and we can say be interesting and relevant. That means in the first paragraph we have to be talk about the overall or general the things, what are the main points we are going to discuss in all that things. Let's go for the second paragraph. It should background. That means provide some of the history of the topic you are writing about. What are the things or what are you are talking about, what are the points you are discussing and all that things. You have to add all the things related histories after some more main important things you can include in second paragraph. Let's go for what more we can include in that. Okay, your argument, that means at least 6 to 7 reasons were there, and those 6 to 7 paragraphs we can say it's what it say. Okay, this paragraphs must, what are the contains, we can say contain one major point of the argument, stating your reason for arguing or agreeing or disagreeing with questions posed. That means we are doing arguments in that. Agree या तो फिर in with disagree. Begin with or have near its start a topic. That means or signpost we can say here sentence. What it say that a sentence which indicates what the paragraph will be about and how it relates to the essay title. And it say this is not a subheading, but what I can say, your writing should be formal, continuous prose, we can say. What it said again that be linked to the paragraph that comes before, often with a suitable conjunctions or link words such as in addition, nevertheless, then this, despite this, या तो फिर despite of, however. Don't put also or for example at the start of a sentence. We cannot put the words like that. Contain generalized evidence of your research. For example, statistic या तो फिर expert opinion we can say, we can add in that. Second last paragraph, what the second last paragraph contain, it said counter arguments will have to do in that. What it say, okay, open with contrary to this, and contrast there are those who on the other hand list, what it say, okay, list the opposite sides reason but do not change your opinion. Use phrases like some people claim, there are those who say, That means we'll have to add the counter arguments in that paragraph. We can say conclusion, what we can say in the conclusion, that a good conclusion, what it will contain, be crisp and conclusive and fill the goal of the whole essay. A good conclusion may, that is the written to something mentioned in the first paragraph, will have to, means if we'll do the conclusion, the overall whole idea of the things will have to cover in that. And last, what we can say, give your opinion in that. And a discursive essay should fill as if you have weighed up the arguments and come to the conclusion at the end. What is the types of writing we can say? Explorative writing. Let's go for first for that, is where the author intends to inform, explain, describe or define that subject to you. This is the most common type of writing you will find in the textbooks and online, we can say. Now go for second one is descriptive writing. What it is, that the writing can be poetic at times and explain things in great detail. When you are reading descriptive writing, you feel as if you are there or can actually picture in your mind what they are describing. That means we'll have to describe the things what we have seen, that is we can say descriptive writing. Narrative writing, what it is, that is very common in novel, poetry and biographies. The author puts themselves in their characters' shoes and writes as if they were that person. So this mostly it's used for novels or poetry, we can say. Persuasive writing, it's what it say, that it takes on the opinion of the writer or issue the writer is writing for. This is considered biased material and is most often found in advertising, we can say. Next is formal writing, can be stiff, humorless and something with a little arrogance. It contains lot of articles and prepositions, we can say. So it contains formal writing, it should be stiff and humorless, we can say. Analytical writing, what is analytical writing? It is about making distinctions. Analytical writers tend to academically be more honest and open to new experiences. Now let's go for narrative writing. What it is, that our storyteller, narrative writers writing, it's used by storytellers. Narrative writing use lot of function words involving people, the past tense and include inclusive words such as with and together, we can say. Now what is compare and contrast style? Compare shows similarity and differences, while contrast shows the differences. So this is compare to examine the character or qualities of two or more persons or things for the purpose of discovering their resemblance or differences. That means we'll have to find what are the similarities and what are the differences. So that is contrast, what it is, to set in opposition or over against in order to show the differences between or the comparative excellences and defects of. To compare by differences or contrasting two of qualities as the contrast the present with the past. That means we are contrasting. For example, if we'll contrast what is the present and what was the past. So both the different things, what is say, what can compare and contrast develop? What are the things which develop with that? Strengthen memory. It may be what the memory you have, it strengthen that. Then developing higher level thinking, it should develop the thinking, your thinking level. Increase comparison, so it should increase the comparison. Enhance students writing content area. Develop student habits of mind. What is say, chronological writing? Chronological order is used to arrange sentences and paragraphs, we can say. And it also, what it say, can notice the transition in the following chart, we can say. So that is what is say, when to use chronological writing. When we'll use chronological order when you are describing a process. For example, Chronological order when you are writing instructions, we'll use that. Use chronological order when you are telling story, we'll have to follow the chronological order. When telling a story, we'll have to keep in mind it should be in chronological way. We cannot start from the end. So we'll have to, it should be in chronological way. Use chronological order when you are telling about any series of action or something else. So that is now what we can say improving your reading skill. We'll have to focus also with that reading for study. Why we'll have to, if we'll read for the study to improve your reading skill, you need to, what we'll have to keep in mind, you have clear reading goals, choose the right text, use the right reading style, use note taking techniques. So that is, we have to keep in mind what are the reading goals. We'll have to keep in mind when we'll read, we should keep in mind what are the goals. So that is an essay or seminar subject, a report brief, selected subject area, we can say a series of questions about a specific topic. So it should be, we'll have to keep in mind what are the goals for reading. Now what are the techniques? The first is scanning. How we can, scanning is the technique you might use when reading a telephone dictionary. After you pass your vision speedily over a section of text in order to find the particular words, we can say. So let's see, for example, the introduction. What are the things we can do? The introduction or preface of the text will have to keep in mind. The first or last paragraph of the chapters we can keep in mind. The concluding or summarizing chapter of the text. The book index, we can say, we'll have to keep in mind. Now go for the next skill, that is skimming. Skimming is the process of speedy reading for general meaning. We can read the things speedily. So that is, let your eyes skip over sentences or phrases which contain detail. That means we'll have to read speedily. That is how we can use this technique to preview a selection of text prior to detailed reading. We'll have to go for that. Refresh your understanding of a selection of text following details. We'll have to read. That is, now go for detailed reading and note taking. What it is that, and this underlining and highlighting. If we'll go in a detailed reading, we are with that we'll highlighting or underlining the things. So that is keywords, we can say. So that is, we'll have to point, you have to notice the keywords in that, and questions. With that, to encourage you to take an active approach to your reading, we'll have a lot of questions with that, and we'll have to ask the questions. Summarizes, that means to check you have understand what you have read. So we'll have to summarize own self, okay, what are the things we have read, it is understood or not. So that is, we can say, so this is, we can say, readings and writing skill. Thank you.